Hey guys, welcome to the Master Wing channel. We are starting a new series called Underrated, where we will be focusing on Wingspan cards that have perhaps been lost in the fray. The birds we'll be looking at are definitely not the top tier cards, but in my opinion, they're also not the lowest tier either. I would say they fall somewhere in the lower middle and generally labeled situational or simply not good. The underrated bird for this first episode is the infamous horned lark. Admittedly, this is not the best card for your precious first slot in the grasslands, and if you've played Wingspan since inception, you've probably neglected to pick it up when it's staring at you in the tray. Its pink power lets you tuck a card from your hand when another player plays a bird in the grassland. Not the strongest power. Of course there are better birds out there, but let me tell you why this bird should not be automatically overlooked. What makes this card underrated in my opinion is due to the common flow of Wingspan gameplay. What am I talking about? Let's look at a typical game of Wingspan if there is such a thing. In the early rounds of games, egg laying is usually not your top priority. Aside from your precious 8 turns in round 1, cards and food are your crucial resources that you need the most, pushing players to play more wetlands or forest birds early on. This common pattern of play gives you time to grab cards and establish the horned lark in your grassland for maximum point earning potential while your opponent has yet to play a grassland bird. Full tuck boards and forest engines aside, games still lean towards establishing a grassland by round 3 or 4 and scoring points by laying eggs. In order to do so, obviously players have to play grassland birds, and this style of gameplay favors the horned lark's power. Players generally want to build out that grassland, and while they do so, you get to score extra points. I also think for this power, it is very rare to not have an extra card to tuck. How many of us draw cards and every bird we draw is going to be played? Hardly ever. If you drew 10 cards and that's all you needed, the game would be pretty simple. The point is, you will likely have extra cards to tuck for this bird's pink power. And lastly, as with most pink powers, the more players you play with, the better this bird gets. 3 to 5 player games can see this card turn into a 10-point play or greater. Should you pick this card up every time? No. In this series, we're not looking for new superstars, just hidden treasure. And perhaps the horned lark deserves a second look in your game of Wingspan. Thanks for watching this episode of Underrated. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch the next episode. See you next time.